So we're going to open up our page and we're going to click, if it didn't pop up, a new page. You're going to click the plus sign to create a new blank document and then click create. Now we're using our portrait as a reference image. So we're going to go to clip art. Now it says load your own image. So I'm going to load my own image. I'm going to find the picture of my niece and I'm going to open and add it in here. Now, the best feature about this program is the layers. So right here, I can see my niece, but if I click on this eyeball, she has disappeared. If I wanted to delete the layer, I could delete it, but I want to keep this layer so I have a reference image. Now, when you click on the image, you can drag it. You can also change how transparent it is. I'm going to change the transparency to about 75%. Now I'm going to go to this calligraphy tool, which is where all the tools to draw are located. In the previous video where we talked about value, I showed you how to use these tools, so you should be familiar with some of these tools by now. I'm going to work with the paintbrush, and again, I do not want the fill. This is what happens if you do have a fill. So if I put a fill in with the color peach, and now I'm going to hold down the left part of my mouse and move the brush, what's going to happen is where I'm putting that black outline, it's going to fill in with that peach. I really don't like how this feature of this tool does that. So first I'm going to go over to the layers. I'm going to use the eyeball to see how that will disappear. I'm going to click delete. Oh, I clicked duplicate by accident. Oops. So I will just delete both of those layers and delete. I'm going to go back to the paintbrush tool. I'm going to click on the fill. I'm going to click on this little eyedrop and get rid of the fact that I do not want there to be a fill in. Now, a cool feature with this is if I'm trying to choose this color for my paintbrush, I can actually click on this eyedropper and eyedrop over my niece's face, and I can get all these different tones that I might not be able to have access to with colored pencils or crayons that I have in the classroom or at home. So I'm going to start with the very light, the lightest value I see is which is underneath her cheek. So I'm going to click right there. Now my brush is that color. So now I'm going to right click. Actually, before I right click, let's look and see how big that brush is. It's a really big brush. I actually don't want it that big. So I'm going to change the line width. And I can also change the blur. So if I put the blur all the way up, you really can't see my line. Whereas if I bring it down, it's creating that blur effect, but it's becoming more solid. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing in. Okay. If I'm holding down my brush, so this is only creating one layer. If I wanted to see that layer, what I could do is actually turn off the clip art and see where I've painted so far. Turn it back on. And I keep working with that same tool, getting that nice highlight on her face, a little bit on her nose, a little bit on the chin. If I want to change my color, again, use that eyedropper. I'm going to do this highlight that's on the bridge of her nose. Color it in. Maybe part of this highlight up here. And now I'm going to click on my layers to look to see what's going on right now. So that's all I have done right now. I'm sticking with realistic colors for this portrait. So I'm going to keep going with this tool with the paintbrush, taking the eyedropper and finding different tones in her face and painting those tones. Okay, part of her cheek is also that color. You don't need to get every single tone, but there's at least 3 different tones on her face. She's got this highlight, and then towards the back of her face, she's got this darker shade, which is going to help create a 3-dimensional look to her portrait. You are welcome to also do abstract. So if I undo all of these paint tools that I just did so that I'm starting with a blank slate, so right now I have a black back to the normal picture, I could actually use this value scale right here, start with the light blue, And maybe I'm going to do the lightest value of her face, blue. Keep going, just like what I did with the skin tone, seeing these different tones, but painting them with different colors. Now going in with this darker tone of the blue, and going around the shades, and creating this texture of the buildup. The cool part about this paintbrush tool is it's actually kind of blending some of your tones. So let's notice this blue that I just drew one solid line. When I let go of my mouse, it's instantly getting a little bit lighter. What's happening is that the paint is actually mixing together on the online program. So I can keep going and doing that with the darker values. If you want to do an abstract painting of painting the colors unrealistic, that's fine. What you need to keep in mind is that you need to do your person. So right now I'm going to need to do my niece's shoulders, her shirt, everything about her. I'm going to really try to get some great details of her hair. Now for the background, I could do the background that's in this image because I really do like the sky. But if you don't like the background in your image, you can create your own image. You can put an image behind it. What a cool part about that, so if I was to go back to clip art and upload another image, see what I have. Let's go to my photo club and adding in this image. Let's add in that image. If I really liked this image, what I could do is go to layers. I see the image, I don't see the image. I can send this all the way to the back, and then if I hide that previous clip art right here, I can't see that, but now I can see her face come in front of it. I'm actually going to hide all the blue layers I did and bring back the natural colors of her portrait. Oh, I forgot a few blue layers. So I can hide those layers. They're not deleted, they're just hidden. So I'm going to re-hide her portrait to see if I did her portrait and wanted this to be the background, that's fine. When you move layers to the background, just like that tree picture I put to the background, it's going to change the order in the layers. I'm just going to go ahead and I clicked on the first one. Now I'm pressing shift, and what I'm doing is using my up arrow to get all these layers, and I'm actually going to delete all those colors because I do not want the blue to be the portrait. So I'm going to delete all those layers so that now all I'm left with, if I close these clip art out, is her natural tones of her portrait. Now this is going to take some time to do. This is why we're giving you a few days to do this assignment. When I'm done with the work for today, what I might do is just, if you close out this tab, it's going to automatically save. But if you want to double check, you can go to open, and there's the work I was just working on. It's drawing 9. So if I come back another day and click on here, it will reopen. These are drawings I did a week ago, and I closed the tab out and they're already back up. So it will save to your computer. If you want to do a test run and do a quick drawing, close your tabs, sign out, and then log back in and see if it will work, I would do that before you do too much work today. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I am available to help with Google Meets, so please email me if you need help. All right, best of luck with this artwork. I can't wait to see what they look like.